Thrilled to be joined by Red Berenson, legendary Michigan player, coach, and now, Red, the official title is Special Advisor to the Commissioner for Big Ten Hockey Operations. Let's describe exactly what that means for you. What is your role? What's your responsibility?
Well, as I see it, and I'm in touch with our new commissioner for the Big Ten, Kevin Warren, on a weekly basis, and he approached me back in January, and he wanted when he first took over, and he's a hockey guy, and good for him. I was excited to hear that he wanted to make hockey better in the Big Ten Conference, and he wanted me to be kind of a hockey advisor for him, and so we would try and grow the Big Ten Hockey Conference.
Red, Commissioner Warren obviously knows what college hockey can be. He spent the last 15 years up in Minneapolis. How important does the growth of hockey appear to be to him in his tenure as he gets ready to hopefully complete a full first season of athletics as the commissioner?
He made it very clear it is a priority. And I didn't realize this, but when he was with the Lions in Detroit, and his son was younger. His son attended our camp at Michigan, and now he's a tight end with Mississippi State. But his hockey skills grew while they lived in Minnesota, so he was a hockey/football player. I told him if he would have stayed in hockey, the other team wouldn't even want to come on the ice. But anyway, and Kevin himself wishes he would have learned how to play hockey, even though he was raised in Phoenix. But he loves the game. So he has a passion, and he's made that clear in his press conferences and his introductions that he really wants to see hockey do well under his leadership in the Big Ten.
Red, anyone that's played this game, coached this game, knows this game, understands it's a game of tradition. And sometimes you have to find a way to pull off a balancing act between those traditionalists, the old school fans who want same game night, same game time, same thing the same way, but also to draw new fans, you have to fit into a crowded marketplace. So it sounds like you and the commissioner in the Big Ten are throwing about all sorts of different possibilities to try to make that happen.
Well, and I think we're in kind of an agreement that leaving things alone isn't going to make them better. And even though the Big Ten Conference as a hockey conference has only been around for 7 years, but several of the teams have been around for a long time and have storied traditions. Schools like Minnesota and Michigan State and Michigan in particular, and then Notre Dame as an affiliate member has a great history. And then with the newest guy on the block would be Penn State. And they're building a tradition fast. There's a lot of enthusiasm out there, and Ohio State has come on strong. So we've got a good conference going, and we just want to grow it. Now, whether that means possible expansion, whether it means shortening the game on TV, whether it means improving our coverage on the Big Ten Network or the game times, everything's on the table right now.
Red, you brought up one of the magic words that everybody asks me about anytime that we get into a conversation about Big Ten hockey, and it's expansion. It's a conversation that started when the league was formed, and I think it intensified when the league went to 7 teams because it's obviously an odd travel number in the final week of the regular season. Somebody has to sit or play outside of the conference. How important is it to the league that discussion continues? And are there schools out there that within the next couple of years could potentially be invested enough to make it an 8 or larger team league?
Well, I'm just getting a handle on all this, and I'm under the impression that one of the schools, I'm not in a position to name them, but one of the Big Ten schools was interested in making the move last year, and then the virus hit, and so that put a hold on everything. And we'll see where that goes. But I am confident that we're going to have more teams in the Big Ten, whether it's in the short run or in the long run. Now, some of those teams are already in the Big Ten. Notre Dame was a great fit as an affiliate member, a light school in the footprint of the Big Ten, and a great hockey history and a good building and a great coach and so on. So I think those are things that are going to be talked about on a regular basis, besides the promotion, besides the TV coverage. And then you'd like to see a Big Ten school. Like I think 3 years ago, we had 3 of the 4 Final Four were Big Ten schools in the NCAA playoffs. So you'd like to see our teams move forward and do well, but in the meantime, we've got to build with what we have. And this is going to be maybe an off season. We'll have to wait. I don't mean really off, but just a different season with a lot of uncertainty surrounding the season, whether we have crowds or we don't have crowds and so on. But either way, with Kevin Warren's leadership and my support and our enthusiasm and all the coaches on board in the Big Ten, I like the direction of our conference.
All right, Red, let's finish with this. I assume that this new role means you have to be an unbiased observer, especially when you're in the conference office, you're talking with multiple coaches. Will Maize and Blue be allowed to be warned by you when you're around the commissioner and other coaches, or do you have to stay completely Switzerland here in the new job?
Well, we haven't talked about that, but obviously, you know, I've got some serious roots in Michigan, but it'll be easy for me to be impartial. It really will. I have a lot of respect for the other programs, and now that I'm not behind the bench, and I have obviously want to see Michigan do well, but now I want to see Michigan State do well too, and Ohio State. And that's hard to say, you know, when you're standing behind the bench, but it's easy for me to say now. I'm looking at the big picture. I'm a team player, and I think Kevin Warren knows that. And so this isn't going to be about Michigan, but it's going to be about bringing up the whole group. And I think the coaches have been very appreciative and receptive of my presence, and I think we're going to get along great.
Great to catch up, as always, with college hockey legend Red Berenson. Red, thanks for the time.
Well, thanks for your time, guys. I'm really looking forward to this when the smoke clears and they put some ice in the buildings, and that shouldn't be too far down the road.